I'm Anil Kumar, and in this video, I'll discuss one-sided limits, basic concepts. Let me sketch few functions so that we can talk about this topic a bit. Let's say we have a function kind of like this. Let me fill this up. And let me draw a straight line from here, and let's say the line is kind of like this. So I've sketched a function which seems to be of two different pieces, and at some value on the x-axis, let's say this value is 2. We find that there's a break, there's a jump discontinuity. We'll call this function as f of x. Now, the question here is, what is the limit of this function when x approaches 2 from the left side? And we'll call this as the left side, okay, from the left side, which we write with negative exponent. So what is the limit of this function when x approaches 2 from the left side? Now, since we are approaching only from one side, we call it one-sided limits. Is that okay? The answer for this is, when you approach from this side, you actually hit this part of the graph, and where you reach is its limit. Let's say this value which you are approaching is 3. Then the answer will be 3. Is that okay? I could have asked a different question. What is the limit of this function when x approaches 2 from the right side? And that right side is indicated by plus sign. So this is your right side. So if I approach from the right side, I'm going to hit this part of linear curve, and I'll approach this value as I come closer and closer to 2, right? Let's say this value is minus 2. So the value of this function, or the limit of this function as x approaches 2 from the right side, will be minus 2. So that is what we consider one-sided limits. Limit from either side. Now you have been doing limit when x approaches a value, let's say 2. Now in this particular case, if you approach 2 from left side, you reach at 3. If you're approaching 2 from the right side, you're approaching minus 2. They are not equal. So when they are not equal, we say the limit does not exist. The reason is these two limits are not equal. I hope you got the concept, right? Now from the graph, at times you may be asked to find the value of the function at 2, which let me write as, what is f of 2 equal to? That filled in hole here gives you the value, which is 3. Is it okay? So that is how you're going to answer one-sided limits based questions if a graph is given to you, right? Now let me take another example. So let's take an equation this time. So we have a function f of x, which is x squared divided by x. As you can see from here, that x should not be equal to 0, because then it is not defined. Is that okay? So for this particular function, you need to find limit as x approaches 0 from the left side, that is minus. You need to find the limit when x approaches 0 from the right side. For the same function, you need to find the limit when x approaches 0, right? Let's check it out. Well, the best way is to really sketch it and then write down the answers. So let's sketch it here, and we'll write down the answers. So of course at 0 it is not defined. So this function could be written as, if I cancel one of those x's, so we could write this as f of x is equals to x where x is not equal to 0. Does it make sense to you? Yes, it does, right? So basically at 0 we have a hole, and the function could be graphed as x. Perfect. So that becomes the given function. And now it's easy for us to answer all these questions. So sketching is a good way of doing things for finding one-sided limits. Okay. So when you're approaching 0 from the left side, you hit this portion and you're approaching 0 itself. So this answer is 0. If you're approaching from the right side, you again approach origin, so it's 0. Since these two limits from left and right are same, the limit exists at as x approaches 0, and this is also 0. However, what is the value of the function at 0? Does not exist. Do you see that? It is not defined at origin. So there could be cases when limit may exist, however, the function may be discontinuous, as in this particular case. Now, as an exercise, I'd like you to do this question, which is f of x equal to absolute x over x, right? Find left side limits at 0 and the value of function at 0. You can see this function is also not defined at 0. Is it okay? But does the limit exist at 0 or not? Figure it out. If you sketch this function, you're going to get a sketch like this. And that will help you to answer your questions. I'm Anil Kumar, and I think you got the concept of one-sided limits. In this list of videos, I'll consider a couple of examples where we'll explore the topic with the help of graphs, equations, piecewise functions, and word problems. I'm Anil Kumar, and I hope you'll appreciate this journey of learning about one-sided limits. You can always share and subscribe to my videos, and feel free to like them. Thank you, and all the best.